Right, how to be more consistent with your training. So I really enjoyed putting this one together. I feel like this is going to be a phenomenal little resource for any busy professional, family man, woman, anyone who's generally just struggling to stay on track. If you feel like you're always having 1 or 2 good weeks, falls off, and it always feels like you're jumping back on the horse, every time you're going back into the gym it feels like you're starting from day one again. You have to build up the weights from day one and then you fall off track and then you have to start again. This is the training for you. This is what's going to help you be more consistent throughout the year, because like with anything in life, the key to success with training is consistency. It's all about showing up, and it's not about showing up when it's an easy week or a quiet week or a perfect week. It's all about what you do when life gets busy, the actions you take and what you do in those weeks that will determine your results across the year. So when work gets really busy, how do you deal with that stress? When the kids are ill or you've had a bad night's sleep, when you feel a little bit under the weather, how do you act during those weeks, or what will determine your success long term? So what I'm going to go through now is 5 strategies that I think are really going to help you to stay on track. So starting with number 1, nice and simple, it's to plan your weeks. A simple habit, but so many people don't do it. You need to just detach yourself at the weekend, half an hour, give yourself an hour, and just try and have a bird's eye view of your week and look down ahead and see what you've got on. Many people don't do that, so when they're waking up on a Monday morning, and if someone was to ask them, right, when are you going to get your training in this week, it's kind of like, I'll just try and fit it in when I can. If that's your answer on a Monday morning, you're already swimming against the current and you're going to find it hard, as opposed to the person that sits down at the weekend, takes the time out, plans their week, so you're waking up and you know you've got a plan of where everything should be, what time you're going to the gym, where you're going to fit everything, when have you got the kids, where are your work commitments, all these things. Obviously it's good to have a plan, but then things always happen each week, so you need to be flexible with that. But definitely step 1 is having a plan in the first place. And if you are complaining that you haven't got time, complaining that you can't fit in workouts, but you're not actually sitting down and planning your week, you need to reassess. So here's a few questions that I would ask myself on a Sunday before you start the week. When, where, and what time are you training? So I always quote James Clear out of his book Atomic Habits, and he talks about implementation intentions. So it's knowing exactly, right, I am going to the gym, I'm going to DW Gym, I'm going to be there 7 a.m. and I'm training lower body on a Monday. If that's your mindset going into the week, the likelihood of you doing that workout is tenfold higher. Again, if you just wake up and it's, I'm going to try and go to the gym, it's not going to work. Get really specific with your intentions. Other good questions to ask are just to look ahead. What work commitments have you got? Have you got a big meeting, a big conference call on Friday? Are you travelling away in the week, which means you can't train on Wednesday and Thursday? So that means you need to do a double session or do something extra on the Monday. You need to look ahead. What family commitments have you got? Is your partner working overtime on the Thursday? Have you got to have the kids? Have you got to pick them up? Are you on the nursery drop off on Friday or the pick up on Friday, which means you can't do your workout? Plan ahead. The more that you plan, the more that you can prepare. And the last question is, what could possibly derail you from having a good week? And if you can just think ahead and try and get 1 step ahead, that's really going to help. And sorry, there is one more, and this is a really powerful question to ask yourself before you start the week. You want to ask yourself, is this a push week or is it a maintenance week? And the benefit of asking yourself this question is, we've all been there before when you have the guilt. You have the guilt of getting towards you getting to the end of the week and thinking, God, I haven't done enough training, I haven't been to the gym, I wanted to do a run, I haven't done it. And you get the guilt in your head. You're thinking, oh, I've had a bad week. Whereas if you started that week by framing it, right, this week, I know it's busy, I know I've got a lot on for work, so what I'm going to do is frame it as a maintenance week. So instead of aiming for 4 sessions, I'm aiming for 2. Instead of trying to do 2 cardio sessions, I'm just going to aim for 10,000 steps a day. So you lower your goals to match your week, and that reduces your guilt and it makes you feel a lot better, because the week after you might look at your diary when you're doing your weekly planning and go, do you know what, I haven't got much on this week. Right, it's a push week, full steam ahead, 4 workouts, and I'm going to go for a run and I'm going to do a bike session as well. And you push. So you just frame your expectations depending on what your week's like. The next one is to train early. Now, before someone listens to this and be thinking, right, I physically can't train early because I'm on the school drop-off or because of work commitments, this isn't geared towards you. If you physically can't train in the morning, then you have to do what you have to do and train where you can, be it on your lunch hour or after work. This is aimed at somebody who is training in the evening, who's struggling with consistency, who could train in the morning. Very quickly, what I feel quite passionately about this as well, the benefit of training first thing in the morning is that there's far less distractions. If you get into the habit of going to bed earlier, waking up earlier, and if you're getting up at 5, half 5, 6 in the morning and getting your workout done early, there's less distractions on email, there's less work calls, colleagues aren't hassling you from work, the kids aren't up yet. There's just generally far less stuff going on that can distract you, stress you out, upset your mood, or put you off working out. You can get in, get that workout done, shower, change, put your clothes on for work, and you know heading into the office you've already looked after yourself, not in a selfish way, in a good way. You've already looked after your own health, your own well-being, and then you can go into work full of energy, feeling good that you've trained, and also having the reassurance that if you have the day from hell and you have to work overtime and all this stress and all these things hit you, or if you get a phone call from nursery and you have to go and pick the kids up, it's okay because you've done your training early. As opposed to if you're always waiting for the full working day, 9 till 5, and then going home and relying on motivation to then go back out to the gym at 6, 7, half 7, 8 o'clock, throughout a whole year, you are not going to be as consistent. There's far more time throughout the working day to negotiate with yourself, and that little voice in your head says, no, you're tired, you've had a busy day, don't do it today, or I'll do it tomorrow. Whereas if you just get up early and get it done, less time to negotiate with yourself and get that workout in. Number 3, and this is a fantastic tip, is to create a consistency ladder. So I did a post about this on social media not long ago, but a consistency ladder, plain and simple, is just having backup options, as opposed to just having option A, right, I'm going to go to the gym, and if I don't get to the gym, I'm not training, which is what most people do. A consistency ladder is having a what if I'll do that, and what if that, I'll do that, and it's having different options to fall back on. So for example, plan A might be Monday. If you're someone who has to train after work, you'll be Monday, I'm going to drive to the gym and perform a workout, which might be an hour long. That's plan A. You might get a phone call saying, right, you need to be back home earlier because your wife or your partner's got to be out. Right, okay. So what's my backup option? Backup option B is that I'm going to drive to the gym, but actually I'm going to do my backup option workout, which is just 3 supersets. So it's going to halve my workout time. Instead of training for an hour, I'm going to train for half an hour. And you could have already pre-written that workout, which is your backup option B workout. So you go to the gym, takes half the time, you can be back home for your partner. If that's not an option and you don't have the time to actually drive to the gym, you can have a backup option C of saying, right, what I'm going to do, if I can't do option A, if I can't do option B, I'm going to do a 20-minute body weight workout in the garage or in the lounge or in the garden. And that could be some press-ups or burpees or squat thrusts or whatever the exercise is, but it gets you training and then you feel so much better. Remember, the benefits of training are as much physical as they are mental as well. And if you go and get in that 20-minute workout, you'll feel so good. And then more than likely, what you're going to want to do after you've done that 20-minute workout, you're going to want to go and back it up by eating well. So you get that, you stay on that consistency ladder, you train, you eat well, you train, you eat well, as opposed to falling off track and not training for 3 or 4 days. It's really easy for the nutrition to slip. But some days you might not even have the energy, you might not feel good, and you might not want to do that 20-minute workout. You could even have one more notch to the ladder, and you can say, do you know what, on those days when I can't do A, B or C, I'm just going to do 10 minutes of stretching in the lounge because that's going to make me feel better. 10 minutes of mobility, but again, you will go to bed that night feeling better that you've done something. Something is always better than nothing, and you'll still feel like you're moving in the right direction. So think about creating your own. That's just an example that I've made up that's quite relevant to what I do, but you can create your own ladder with at least 3 or 4 different options on there. 4th one is something that I have learned to do as I've got older, as I've got north of 30. It's learning to change gears. Not every workout has to be 5th gear. Not every workout has to be trying to beat what you did the week before, trying to get stronger, trying to run quicker. Sometimes it's okay to just change gear, drop it down into fourth or third gear, and just go into the gym and just do a little bit of what you feel. Often the reason people don't turn up into the gym is almost the anxiety of the workout, thinking, oh, should I do it, should I not, should I do it, should I not, and they go, oh no, it's going to be horrible, I don't want to put myself through the pain of that leg day, I'm not going to do it. Whereas a better approach would be to be honest with yourself and like, right, I'm not really feeling it today, I'm still going to turn up, but I'm just going to train in third gear today. I'm going to leave 3 or 4 reps in reserve in each exercise. I'm not going to push to failure, and I'm actually going to walk out the gym not drenched, not with a sweaty t-shirt, and I'm actually going to feel better when I leave the gym. And again, same as what I said on the previous slide, that going into the gym, having the trigger of training is going to help all other areas. It's going to help you mentally. You're not going to have the guilt that you missed a session. It's going to help you with your nutrition. Because again, even if you go and do a small session, you're going to want to back that up with good food. And throughout the year, if you learn to just get in an extra workout, say 1 every 2 weeks, that normally you would have just sacked off and not done, but instead you learn to train in third gear, throughout the year that could be an extra 20 workouts that you wouldn't have done that you did do. Number 5, it all adds up. And what I mean by this is, even if you do that small workout or that small walk, you've got to learn that even when you're busy, even when life gets busy with the kids and the work and all these stresses, something is always better than nothing. And the analogy that I always use, you can guess by the picture there, is you want to be a dimmer switch. So you don't want to be a light switch, which is what everyone is guilty of, especially blokes. This all or nothing mentality. They're either going to the gym, training hard, smashing heavy weights, or they're not training at all. They're either training 5 days a week for a month straight, or they're not training at all. And to increase your consistency across the year, you want to think about being a dimmer switch. So sometimes you train 2 days a week, okay, when life gets busy, but then you can turn it up to 4 when it's a push week. Sometimes you train in third gear, but other times you crank up to fifth gear when you're feeling good. It's all about changing gears. Something's better than nothing. It all adds up. And once you start living by those principles and making decisions based on those principles, your consistency throughout the year will skyrocket. And as I said on the first slide, once the consistency goes up, the results will follow. So just quickly in summary, just to go over those 5 again. Number 1, make sure that you sit down and plan your weeks. Ask yourself those power questions that I mentioned. So what can possibly throw you off track? What have you got on work-wise, family-wise? And frame your week a push week or a maintenance week. If the option is there, train early. Throughout the year, I guarantee you will be more consistent training first thing in the morning. And often that starts the night before. So stop watching episodes of Netflix that you don't need to. Get to bed a little bit earlier, wake up a little bit earlier, and be an early riser. Number 3, create some backup options. Create your own ladder with different options with 3 or 4 different backups in there. Number 4, learn to change gears. Not everything has to be fifth gear. Learn the art of walking into the gym, training, and walking out not feeling shattered. And last but not least, have the mindset of being a dimmer switch, not a light switch. No matter what it is, whether it's a walk just for 10 minutes, whether it's mobility for 10 minutes, whether it's a 20-minute bodyweight workout, it all adds up throughout the year. So that's it. I hope that's been useful. As always, any feedback, any questions, just let me know. But I hope you've taken some value from that.